Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to round 7 of the North American Youth Chess Championships. As the tournament is approaching the end, I think we're going to see even more exciting and enterprising chess. Very excited to be back with you today. Let me know where you're watching from, what games you want me to focus on. If not, I'm doing my usual routine, which is, catching up with one of the sections and then going into the other, and yeah, just kind of catching up with the opening stage for each game, and in both the girls and the open section. I typically go for the open section first. No particular reason. It was just the way I had opened it in the first place. I didn't realize they were separated, so we went that way, but now I decided to change it up a bit. So we'll start with the girls section first. So this is board 1 and girls under 18. And by the way, for those of you who are wondering, I'll have pulled up the pairings as well, so I can let you know how things are. So for example, in this section, Jasmine is the player with 5 out of 6. She has 5 out of 6, and she's playing against Arad Kaur, who's on only 3.5. So Arad is definitely trying to possibly go for a win in order to be able to get closer to the lead. And they had a Najdorf with f3. Okay, it's quite typical theory stuff. Knight d5, takes. And we had this kind of pawn structure in the past yesterday, actually, and we're talking about the plans for each side. I think it's a bit easier for white to adopt plans on the queen side, but we'll have to wait and see whether... Oh, long castle. Okay, so Arad went for the long castle. The king will go to b1, and then we'll have to see if she's going to go for c4, c5, or other things. Bishop g5 is very typical trade-off of a bad piece. Bishop g5, and this is the current position that the girls have. If the bishops get traded off, it will be kind of a balanced position, and we'll have to wait and see what's going on there. Going on to the next game, we have Laura Q, who's on, or Lori Q, who's on 3.5, playing against Paula Hernandez Diaz Sofia Paula. I read her name. She's on 4.5, so she's half a point behind the leader, Jasmine, and trying to maintain that distance or maybe even catch up after this round. So she goes for the Queen's Indian. Okay, here. Very typical, does not go bishop b4. There's no point to go. I mean, there's some point, but she doesn't want to go bishop b4. Chooses the more, quiet home approach, but she still will have this opportunity to eventually support the knight with f5, maybe play some e5 and just kind of focus on a kingside attack. So it'll be potentially getting transformed into a more aggressive position. d5 is actually quite interesting. I would typically expect to see a move like queen c2 maybe first, just to see whether black's gonna go for f5, in which case this gets a bit weakened. Or we can go maybe knight e1 after that and try to chase the knight away. I think there's this line with the takes here, where you capture and potentially trading the bishop too. Black would be happy with some more trades because they lack the space, but anything can happen in this game for sure. In the actual game, d5 was played by white, attempting to allow only one piece trade, and black went for the bishop. I think it makes sense because if you go for the knight, I would like to have my bishop on this diagonal. Even if you get bishop f6, like white would be happy to trade that bishop. And now we have this position, which kind of transferred to something like a king's Indian, just that the bishop piece here, maybe old Indian. And if I'm not mistaken, I would think some plans like this could work for white, or maybe she's simply gonna go for the traditional b4 and something with a4, a5, or with c5 on the queen side. Normally white does have a bit more space on the queen side, so that's the side of the board where you want to do things, but you have to be ready for f5, f4 ideas, so you need to be ready to decide how you're going to stop that. This is the current position at the moment. Going on to board 3, Sophie Lee is on 4 points and playing against Elena Shank with 3 points. So, you know, the top players were basically Jasmine, Paula, and Sophie. Half a point separates them all, and then we have 2 players with 3.5, their opponents, and they will try to do their best in order to find their way to catch up the leaders. So here we had a Slav exchange variation, and very, very normal. Black decided not to attempt to inspect the position with the bishop, with taking the bishop out. It's more of a cautious approach, I'd say. Bishop e7, not even bishop d6, interesting. Because personally, I would consider bishop d6, trade this bishop. It gives black a bit more space. It's not about actually physical space, but more like this bishop on the diagonal controls quite a bit of squares, and stops black from utilizing c7, d6 squares, or rook b8. That's why this move kind of, you know, makes a bit more sense. But Elena seems to choose a more cautious approach, just develop the pieces and maybe try to. But it's harder when you choose just a safe approach, I'd say. Moving on to board 4, the 2 players are on 3 points, April and Ananya, and they went for a Sicilian, I think it's called the canal attack. This one I always thought it was funny because I didn't get it. Bishop f1, okay. I have seen people attempting bishop d3, bishop c2. In fact, if you guys were watching my commentary of the US Women's Senior Championship, Natalia Tsadikova, who won the tournament, actually had a game where she played bishop d3, bishop c2, despite having played rook e1. So, you know, rook e1 is not necessarily always the point of retreating the bishop in f1, but just rather, you know, a development move that keeps the pawn protected. That doesn't mean that the bishop cannot just go back to c2 and start pushing pawns, you know, like that can happen anyways. But in this game, April went for the more normal kind of setup, bishop f1, bringing it back home to keep the king safe, and h3, and we have this position. Okay, I mean, this is quite normal. Probably we're gonna see bishop g7, bishop e3, maybe not bishop, maybe knight d2, castle. And I'm looking forward to seeing how white's gonna develop here, because it's always, I'm always impressed about the variety of ideas that white can do, you know, in these positions when you don't have anything traded off in the center and you can choose. You can still make up your mind. Are you gonna go g3, bishop g2? Are you gonna go back and go f4, knight f3, or just gonna go back, knight f3? So many things that can happen here. So we'll catch back up with this game as soon as more moves will have been played. Going on to the next board. So this is board 1 in the girls under 16. Just to give you an insight behind the scenes as to what to expect in this section. So Jillian Mock is on 4.5. She's leading the tournament together with the girl on board 2, which is Erin Bian. Erin is actually the highest rated player too. We've seen a lot of her games in this commentary. She's played on top board. So the 2 are on 4.5. Jillian's opponent Ridi is on 4 points, while Erin's opponent is on 3.5. They already played each other, and that's why the pairing look like this. So we have a Taimanov variation of the Sicilian, bishop c5 and bishop b4, pin the knight. I think I've seen this very much, but I usually play the move order differently myself with the black pieces, but this is something I've seen in the past. So just to kind of give you an idea, white doesn't mind if black were to give up the bishop for the knight, then castling and, you know, still ideas with f4 and such. It's still quite early to figure out everything that's gonna happen, but I'm anticipating some queen d3, maybe. Oops. Some queen d3, possibly a3, chase the bishop away. And we'll see if white chooses a long side or short side castling. Ooh, lots of moves have been played in this position. Sorry. Okay, so we have the Sicilian. Once again, lots of Sicilians being played here. Which line was this? Aha, Sveshnikov. The Sveshnikov Sicilian. D6, A6. We've seen this line. Oh, this is a super theoretical line. No wonder they played so many moves. No wonder. Okay, you take that knight, and then you have the opportunity to go c3 or c4. Those are two typical moves for white here. Aaron chose to play c3 and now brings on the knight to bring it to e3. Black always plays this move to make sure that the diagonal is controlled and the knight will not get to e3. And now what do we see? A4. I think this has become more popular. I used to see h4, g3 stuff a lot, but these days I noticed this move is a new trend, newer trend, at least for this section it has been. So knight e3, black has to take it because that bishop is a bad bishop, doesn't really help much with getting away the outpost. The only thing is that, you know, with pawn d6, it's not quite ideal. It's not quite ideal to give up the bishop, but black should find a way to either get d5 or put pressure here, maybe play king h8 and f5. That way this pawn will be gone, and then d5, the center. Black will be able to build something in the center. That would be quite important to actually do. So this is the current position. We'll have to wait on a few more moves. Chloe Wang plays against Hema Vikas. Both players with 4 points. They still have big chances to potentially win the tournament. I mean, this is just round 7, right? So we have 2 more rounds after this with a good result. This puts either one of them in the position to fight for the gold or silver or bronze or some medal. One of the medals. Okay, it's a North American Youth Championship, so medals are serious here. Oh, this line. Okay, I haven't seen this line in a while. Okay, so black is gonna attempt to hold on to the pawn a bit, but it doesn't last very long. Bishop there. This is all theory. Knight c5. Bishop c2, d4. Takes. I'm not the most knowledgeable in these types of positions, but I don't think takes is the main thing. I thought it was knight b3. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Chloe is accepting the queen trades, and she's probably comfortable to play the endgame. That's quite alright. I think this endgame is quite alright. You can definitely play it. There's still a lot of life in this position. It's not like it's going towards a draw or anything like that, because, you know, white would have a majority on the king side to support. Black has one on the queen side. No really big weaknesses for either side, so there's still a long game to play for the girls. Going on to board 4, in the same section, we have Ivana May Sanchez playing against Leah Queenfield. Both players on 3.5, and they played this center gambit, transferring to some kind of scotch, I'd say. Yeah, this is kind of switched towards in a scotch. And if I'm not mistaken, the move for black in this position is knight, either queen g6 or knight e7. one of those two moves. Queen g6 to try to keep the pressure and basically like have some ideas with bishop h3 if you castle, though it's not going to lead to too much. There's always a defense for white. Bishop f3, if you take queen takes, white will be safe there. But also in that position there's knight e7, maybe more of a normal approach. The idea is to also support d5, since black does not have anything in the center. There's always the possibility and the wish to put more in the center. So that kind of concludes our top boards in the... Oh, Chris, hey! Thanks, Chris. I'm doing all right. It's slow sometimes. It's slow. It's been slow a couple of days. Some days it was more people in here, but yeah, like I try my best to cover. There's a lot of very exciting games for these kids. You know, they're so familiar with the theories and stuff. So I'm learning new things. I'm learning new ideas. Now all I have to do is just memorize them myself, use them up in more rapid, and then I can give some of these kids credits for new interesting ideas. Oh, take them all upon myself and give nobody credit. I'm just kidding. No, I'm nice. I'm nice. I give people more credit than they deserve sometimes. But yeah, it's a very exciting tournament for sure. Okay, now we go basically to the next section, which is girls under... Oh, I should do this. 1 second. I should have put it on my phone. That would not make me switch back and forth. Girls under 14 we're going to now, because okay, the tournament is definitely quite strong, I would say. In the open section we have more players, but even in the girls section, like it's very strong, very strong fields. Here we have Anaïs Fisset, who's on 4.5, playing against Lakshana Deepak on 5.5. So Lakshana has had a great tournament and only left half a point so far, and is leading the tournament by a point. So if Anaïs manages to create a surprise, then you know the tournament will be back in the air. And they went for this line of the Cara, knight b3, knight d2, knight b3. This is a line I haven't really investigated much myself with the black pieces. Knight b3 here. Interesting. I thought black would support this center push, this side push a bit more, but clearly that was not the case. Black was fine to just go for c5 directly and does not mind the loss of her dark square bishop. But I think I like white's position a bit more here. I know the engine says it's about equal, but I don't know, I'm thinking maybe bishop e3. Knight f3, okay. Bishop e3 at some point. Maybe we'll see some bishop d3 as well. Okay. Okay, maybe it's fine for black to get this position because of the trade of the trades could be definitely in black's favor due to the lack of space. On board 2, we have Isabella Yan, who's on 4 points, 4.5, sorry, playing against Lily Duarte. Now we have an exchange variation of the Slav, bishop g5, a kind of combination between Slav and Torre, right? Queen b6, knight c3, okay. A very nice development for both sides. The question is how important is it that white has the bishop in g5 as opposed to f4, which is more of a typical placement for it. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I don't know, maybe it was just a bit unpleasant for black needing a few more moves, but now we're back to normal stuff. Where maybe white wasted a move with bishop g5, bishop back to f4. It might not matter though, because the character of the position, the fact that black did remain with the bishop closed within the chain of pawns, not outside of it. But these positions, what white ends up doing sometimes is to place a piece in e5 and then move the bishop and then f4. So kind of trying some Pillsbury attack idea eventually, but yeah, we'll see. And the next board, we have Kylie Zhang. This is board 3 of the girls under 14, playing against Audrey Lee. Kylie's on 4 points, while Audrey is on 3.5. And looks like we had a Gioco piano or pianissimo. Piano. Okay, this is a very, very well essayed line. Bishop e3. Yep. All theory. Bishop d3. I thought white had to take the bishop. Let's see now what's going on here. Yeah, just this and nothing. Uh-oh. Looks like Kylie just misplayed it for one move. She forgot to take here first, then bishop d3. She went for bishop d3 directly, and this is just a loss of a pawn. There's not so much you can do about it. She has to recapture, and now black's gonna take in d3, and black has a slightly better position. I mean, it's a pawn up. A pawn is a pawn. This is not ideal. This is not ideal. We'll see if Kylie will be able to come back in this game. Now going on to girls under 12, we have Amy Yang playing with the black pieces against Ellery Zhang. Amy's on 5.5, and she's leading the tournament by half a point. Ellery's on 4 points. Amy went for the Grunfeld. This is a different kind of line. It's not that that theoretical, because, well, I would say, okay, it's not that non-theoretical, but yeah, this is kind of a typical idea. They don't want to take with a pawn to allow that bishop to become a monster on the diagonal, so they go bishop d2 to take back with the bishop. Yeah, c5, d5, castle. If black takes in c3, then castles just simply traded the dark square bishop, which you usually attempt not to do. So this is the current position. Probably Ellery is still thinking queen d2, knight f3, you know, just normal development moves, bishop c4, castle, and it will be a game. Oh no, she did. This is actually how the game went. Sorry, I thought the trade happened. I'm taking a bit of time to think here. I'm sorry. I have some sometimes moments like I'm thinking and you might not know what I'm doing. I'm not falling asleep, I promise. I promise. I had a good night's sleep for the first time in forever. I went to bed at 8 p.m. and I woke up at 4 a.m. But then I slept more. So I had almost 12 hours almost. No, like 10 hours of sleep. Decent. Oh, MIC1! No! No, did you see that video? Did you? I'm debating if I should post it. I'm debating if I should post that video because I was like, oh my goodness, I shouldn't say that because then everyone would be. I don't know. I just think John is doing a great job with his explanations. So it's rare that you find sometimes people that you really like, even as a stronger player, right? I can't believe you watched the clips. Actually, it's funny because I was thinking, should I tell John about this or not? Should I not? So I did send him the video, the clip. He didn't say anything, so he was probably thinking I'm crazy or something. So it's okay. It's okay. Trying to support a fellow colleague can has never hurt anyone. Well, maybe it has. I don't believe I have hurt anyone, so hopefully I'm not starting now. Let's go to board 2 of the girls under 12. We have Ashley Kian against Shuang Chen. Ashley's on 5 and Shuang is on 4. Okay, another scotch. The scotch. Okay. Squares are following main theory. Oh, wait a second. Shouldn't black take in c3 at some point? Maybe not. Oh, that's probably another line. Castle, castle. It's probably another line. Okay, knight c3. Okay, bishop g3. It's probably something is going on. They didn't, the next move, someone's thinking for the next few moves. That's why we're not getting additional moves there. As you guys know, the time, the delay in this tournament is two moves delay. It's not 15 minutes or 13 minutes or something. He probably did not see it yet. I'm sure he really appreciates. Maybe. Let's move on to girls under 10. So in girls under 10, Celine Chen is on 5 points. She's leading the tournament by half a point to 4 other of her competitors. One of them is Grace Wang. And so another Grunfeld. Okay. It's Grunfeld Day. Rook d8, Queen c2. Queen c2, I thought it was d5 the move. Or maybe not. Rook d8. Queen c2. Sometimes they go to Queen d2, right? John, hey! Joel. Where is this tournament, or is it online? No. This tournament takes place in Virginia. It's organized by Capital Area Chess, and it's a North American Youth Chess Championship. So it happens in person. I am online from somewhere else, but the games are happening in person. It's a 90 minutes time control with 30 seconds increment per move. So it's girls under 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18, and open, same things. That's why we have different games, and I'm trying to let you guys know which place each of these players are, so that we know what we're looking at. I'm just really worried about Streamlabs crashing, and I haven't quite figured out why it was. That's why I'm not bringing the actual standings. But if you guys want the standings, there's a command. Oh, I typed it wrong, sorry. You can check out the results and everything over there. And you can also, of course, watch the games live on chess.com. I pinned both on both my channel and US Chess channel. I pinned the links so you guys have the opportunity to catch up with them. So what I didn't like about Celine's last few moves is that she played queen c2, queen a4. She moved the queen quite a bit of times, but maybe it just doesn't matter as much. I guess she's gonna trade now the bishops. Rook takes. Maybe she can go rook d1. Or maybe d5, finally d5. I don't know about taking this pawn. Taking... Maybe taking. Take the pawn. It's a pawn. Why wouldn't we take it? I was thinking d5 originally, but maybe that gives black some opportunity to gain a bit of space on this side of the board. But if you take, there's no b5, so yeah, if she goes for this, it's definitely going to give her a tiny bit of advantage. Was there any move left? No. That's all we have. And then we also have another board, and this is board 2 in the girls under 10, and we have Ella Zhang against Emma Yang. Both players are 4.5 points, just trailing Celine by half a point. And Jobava London. Okay, let's see. This is also quite popular. There are quite a few chessable courses by various authors, and it's quite an interesting setup against various responses by black. You can test it out. And the last board that we have in the girls section is board 1 in girls under 8, and here it is Elizabeth Shah who's leading the event with 5.5 points, followed by Sarah and Gwen with 5, and then Magnolia Zhu with 4.5. So right now here we've had some QGD just to kind of catch up with the moves. Bishop e7, queen c2, QGD exchange variation, and this is a typical white, as I often like to say, has two plans. One with f3, e4, but it's got to prepare it for a bit. The other one with a minority attack with b4. But usually whenever white is allowed to plan the exchange variation with the bishop in g5 and the knight hasn't been taken in f3, this is usually the idea that they follow with f3, e4. But I have the feeling that white may have played the e4 just a tad too early. I personally like to prefer to prefer to prepare this break in the center with rook d1, possibly bringing the bishop back to f2 to defend d4, because you know when you push, you know, you got a chain of pawns here. This is not weak anymore, but this remains weak. So I usually like to have my bishop back and do a few more preparation moves, since it just kind of keeps the pressure. But it seems that here Isabella decided to go for e4 directly, which allows this knight g4, controls the e3 square, and kind of forces white to trade the bishop. Looks like she did not trade, but I think, you know, that usually is kind of forcing. We're threatening knight e3, so we have to go queen d2 with white. And okay, black might get to attack the center just a tad too soon. And here's the thing that you want to remember: if you happen to be a d4 player and interested in these pawn structures, usually this is how you want to push the pawns. Like, you want to have them here and here. You don't want to have it the other way around. You may ask why. I think the answer will come very easily to you. This bishop, you want the bishop to be opened. You want it to look towards black's king, right, in that direction. Or if you're gonna move it over, you want to move it over that diagonal at some point and look towards black's king in that direction. If you are forced to push here, and these pawns will get blocked later on, so obviously the bishop is gonna be moved, but then these pawns will not advance further. Even you have this pawn that's passed, they're not gonna advance further, and you'll be a bit stuck here with figuring out how to improve the position of your bishop. So it's very important to try to push the pawns the right way. I'm not saying the position is much worse, but you know, it's not ideal. Bishop d2 was played and bishop g5. I'm actually surprised that Elizabeth goes for the trading of the bishop now. I was thinking maybe this could have been played with the same idea, right? You're trying to get white to push the d pawn, and then the bishop goes back, and then the fact that you blocked it that way, you can always switch over and put pressure on the white king. Bishop g5 was played, which allows some, yeah, if white keeps the pawns like this, they're strong. If the pawns remain in the center, they're very strong because they control a lot of squares in black's territory, and white will be able to just continue putting in the pressure on the f-file, that is. Look at that. Okay, so now Isabella is going for the right approach of pushing that central pawn up. Okay, king h1. Okay, and then the rook comes to f1. Slightly better position for white, and we'll have to catch up and see where this game goes. Of course, anything can happen, but it's still quite early to tell. Let's go to the open section. As you guys know, we have the same thing going on there. In the open under 18, we have Aaron Mendez leading the tournament with 5.5 points. He's playing against Iris Moo, who's had a great tournament. She's playing in the open section, by the way. She's one of the strongest girls. She would have been fine to play in the girls under 18, but she chose the open section, which I think is kind of nice. And she's played very good. She's had, the previous round was a very nice win against, I think she won against Shonag. And we have a 2 nice variation of the Caro-Kann, Queen e2. Queen d5. Okay, so it looks like Aaron decided to go for the endgame. It's actually quite interesting because, I don't know. Do we like going for the endgames? He has had some great endgames during which he has outplayed his opponent, so we'll have to see if he will be able to do that. But Iris has played very good endgames as well, so it's not gonna be a walk in the park. It's gonna be a great fight, so stay here to be looking for it. Rook e1 castle. I'm maneuvering. So with this pawn structure, right, white's gonna play on the king side, while black should start pushing those pawns here. Somehow prep queen side attack. Knight c1. Okay, so he's going back and forth a bit here. Bishop g3 takes. I don't know why he took it. Why not go rook d1, and if he takes, to take with the rook maybe? Also maybe not even. It's a bit too much maneuvering, I would say. Oops, let's go back. It's a bit too much of maneuvering for white. And I think Iris should start her pawn push on the queen side. This game may very well go towards a draw. On board 2. So Aditya is the one trailing Aaron. He's on 5 points, playing against Ryan Sun or Sun. I have a Catalan, well, English. A4. Huh. This is new. This is new to me. Did any of you see this idea before? A4? As usually we see D3, we see D4, we see Queen C2, we see Knight C3, but A4, interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's see the game. I'm puzzled by the move a bit. It's definitely fine to play it because there's no knight that comes towards b4 and it stops on b5 and tries to get extra space on the queen side. It's just, I feel that it's a bit too soon, but it seems fine. I mean, I don't see. Okay, now we see the plan. Just pushing. I thought it was just to stop b5, but now I see. Try to get the pawn there to undermine this chain so that this bishop in g2 eventually opens up. And you'll have to choose, do you play a6, do you play b6? Looks like Aditya chose b6 and queen takes, and now, yeah, he's got this weakness, but so does white. Now we've reached this position, knight c3, and it's a game. It's a game. White succeeded a bit to weaken black's chain of pawns, but, you know, still a long way to go. On board 3, Ananta Duri plays against Richard Zheng. Caro. Bishop takes e2, not queen. You guys know why not queen? I need you guys to check. I mean, I know, but I'm just saying, do you guys know why not queen? Hi there, Twitchinko. How are you doing? For those of you who don't know this trap, it's important. You got a pin. Okay, you know it. Okay, just making sure. I don't know who's watching, so I always like to kind of set up some small traps there just to see if you're paying attention. If I'm talking by myself, you know, or if there's someone ready to take advantage if I say something silly. So it's good to know. Yes. Knight takes d4. Knight takes d4 is the issue. That's why white has to take with the bishop. Okay. All right. Now I know there's some people watching. I'm not alone. That's good. Yeah, you gotta be careful. Of course, you wanted to take with the queen normally, right? But that wouldn't work. Okay, bishop d3. And now we have another similar pawn structure like the one of Iris's game, but knight b4 is also good. No, knight b4, yeah, knight b4 was working, but you were trying to win some material. You know, you were trying to win some stuff. Because knight b4, you weren't winning anything, you know. Knight d4 is actually winning a pawn in that position. Always have to look for that. And with white too, because this position is basically a reverse Queen's Gambit exchange variation with the reverse colors, right? It's like a Queen's Gambit with reverse variations. If you guys can start doing those things in your head, you will know various ideas from different games, and you'll be able to switch them and help yourself out. Okay, I want to do this. I want to do this, and then I want to figure out the pawn push. If knight c4. Sebas, hey. Of course, I think I saw your email. I need to get back to you. I need to get back to you on your email. I think you wrote me, right? It was you, I believe. I just was really exhausted yesterday, so basically I ended up just going to bed. It's the first time in forever when I go to bed at 8 p.m. Okay, please don't laugh, but it happened. It was a necessity to be able to have more energy for streams. Because today is gonna go long, right? Today we're having 2 rounds, so there's this one, and then round 8 starts at 3:30 p.m. That's around the time that I'll go live. And then the last round is tomorrow at 9 a.m. I wonder if White's gonna give up the bishop like this, or take like this and keep the bishop. Both seem fine, but I'm not sure which one is more fine. Not quite sure. We'll see. Well, the good thing about being a commentator and having so many games to go over is that you can always say, well, there's more games. We can switch over and come back and see what's happening there. And then you can just pretend like you knew everything. That's not what I'm usually doing. I just that anything can happen there. It's more, it's what Sam Sevian called in an interview that I took of him. If you guys want to check those out, actually, they're on St. Louis Chess Club's YouTube channel for the last tournament. I did a couple of really cool interviews, and I asked Sam Sevian like, what was the part of chess that he didn't really like that much, and his response was something like, well, I kind of like everything about chess. And I was like, yeah, of course you need to. But then he said, but you know, if I really had to pick something, it would be the boring positions. And I was like, okay, Sam, what's a boring position to you? Because maybe what's a boring position to me is not a boring position to him, right? Sam Sevian, come on. So he was like, yeah, positions where there's not much tactics, not much going on, you know. So maybe I'm similar with him. Maybe I can relate finally to a top grandmaster. There's something that we both don't like. Okay, this line. So Zoe Tang is another very talented girl, top female player in the country, in the US, of course, and she's also playing in the open section. Zoe is on 4 points, I think, 4, and she plays against Ling Shizhu. And looks like she did not go for the capture, just accepting the banco. Yeah, no, I like positional battles, but sometimes there are just positions where you can't calculate them much. You gotta follow the plan, and it's not as concrete. I think a lot of people like concrete stuff, and they kind of challenge themselves to calculate more and visualize more. And sometimes when it's just about plans, it's maybe not as much here. A4. This is actually quite a nice quite a nice approach for white. I sometimes see the knight going to b5. But I usually, like, you see this when white still maintains a pawn in d5, and you usually want this kind of pawn structure to block the position there. But this has switched into something different, right? It wasn't quite, it started kind of as a banco, but then there was no g6, right? Because e3 was played, so now we don't have g6, we have e6 instead. So this is basically gonna be something completely different, because black is having the center, which normally in the banco they do not. So we have a completely different battle here. No extra pawn for white, everything is equal. But also there's no annoying bishop in g7 that makes white's life difficult to develop the queen side. But I think white eventually will have some breaks here in the center. Also, this is weak. So queen e2 comes in with tempo. Maybe queen e2 could be played here with tempo. Positions where you follow your intuition and your background in chess kind of weights more than actual and concrete calculation. I don't know exactly, like, I think everyone likes different parts of chess more than others, you know, like a lot of people like concrete, you know, concrete lines, as you say, because you get the opportunity to outcalculate your opponent in a way. But yeah, positions that are, I mean, it depends what kind of, because boring position when the plan is super clear and it's just matters how you make the moves, those are also not that boring. But I think it's those positions that it's not so super clear how things will go. You have too many options to try to do it, and it's not, it might not affect it, or there might be some new ones that you haven't really figured out. I think those are the toughest ones, because, you know, if you had the knight, I don't know, some square then another square, it could make a huge difference 10 moves later. That is just, yeah, you're kind of basing it on intuition, and sometimes intuition does not really match the position or doesn't really work out. That is a game. On board 5 we have Nitesh playing against Ryan, and we have some close Sicilian / French transposed to a Sicilian / Botvinnik system, or maybe d5 will be played. d5 was played, okay. So black could have attempted to play d6 here and then just have a Botvinnik system with reverse colors. The knight is also nicely placed, because sometimes we see it in f6. And in these types of positions you have two plans. One is to try to push the pawns on that side of the board, the other one is f5. But it looks like black decided to go d5 directly, but maybe he's not quite ready for it, because he's a tempo down, actually 2 tempos down. One because he plays with black pieces, second because he played e6, e5. So now white might get some pressure in the center, and looks like he did. Okay, f7 is okay. So what does white have? Does white have something concrete like bishop here and try to win the pawn? If you go knight d7, you're so passive. I think we can even go here. Maybe we have something even better than that. Maybe we can take, no. Maybe even is bishop d5 better? No, I really like knight d6. I don't know why the computer is fussing about it. It's not fussing. Okay. Knight d6. This is going to be a difficult position to defend for black, clearly, after bishop e3. I don't know. What other options does black have here? Maybe h6? But we can go knight e4, right? And this pawn will be lost. You can take d3, and then you'll get your queen trapped eventually, but yeah. Yeah, white's position looks good. Nitesh is having a slightly better position. We had a Joko Piano on board 6 of the under 18 between Carter Ho and Donald Johnson. Actually, Joko Pianissimo, because d4 was not played. All theory, these guys know it all. Knight takes d5. Typical? Typical equalizer for black. Okay. So white felt that there was no need to prep this any further. Just go for d5 direct, d4 directly, and this is the current position. It looks like an equalizer to me. Lots of pieces get traded, symmetrical position. We'll have to get back to that game. All right, in the under 16 open section, we have Ronan Wilson leading the tournament with 5 points, followed by Henry Deng and Vincent Latorre. Stephen is also Willie Stephen, like we know Willie, he's always stopping by the stream. He's on 4 points, trailing to get back to the top. So Ronan's playing against the Taimanov. Okay, I think the players might still be in their home prep. Possibly. Maybe not. Maybe they're just got out of it. Because there's some time being spent. Bishop e2, I like chase the knight away. You want this knight gone so that your bishop can come out and the rook can come out. I like white's position, I gotta say. It's got the pawns ready for some f5 eventually. This black king is still in the center. The king will go to b1. White has a slight edge in this position. Okay, this one is okay, let's see how it got to it, but the Italian Gioco Pianissimo kind of the position that they actually have looks more like Ruy Lopez, but actually this is an interesting line with g6 bishop g7 because of the Gioco Pianissimo, right? There's no d4 in anything. You can afford to play g6 bishop g7. That bishop actually is slightly better placed for black. It doesn't always work when white plays with d4, of course, but here the bishop controls the center quite a bit, and because of that, you know, it's hard for you to actually do things in the center that easily, you know, like you can't easily attack stuff. Or even if you do, that bishop will get opened as opposed to being in e7 where sometimes it ends up being. In a7 is also quite nice when d4 is played, however the bishop gets locked or can be traded, but in g7 you waste a bit more time to put it there, but it does keep your king safe and controls the center. So there are pluses and minuses to placing your bishops both ways. Board 1, I'll get back to that really fast. I just like to kind of board 1. Are you talking board 1 in the under 16 or board 1 under 18? Did you mean Ronan's game? This one? Yeah, black wants to push here. Unless you meant this game, but here there was no b4. Oh, now there's b4. When I stopped, there wasn't b4. Yeah, but yeah, black's plan is to play with b4 here eventually. Yeah. Catching up with Steven's game, which is board 3 in the under 16. Close Sicilian. Oh wow, h6 to stop knight g5, of course. Black seems to have too many holes in the position. Like there's G5, there's uh there's F5, there's D5. I don't know how much I'm enjoying this for black, but okay, the engine is not making this position so much better for white for some reason. So yeah. Yeah, black can play that anyways. We'll get back to that game. I want to go through all of these and then probably take a small break, and then we'll be back to that game after they will have made a few moves. But yeah, that is the plan that I had mentioned earlier, that you know, white's gonna focus on the queen side, on the king side, while black on the queen side. That's very typical. It's like a Carlsbad pawn structure with reverse colors on board one of the under 18 in the game. Mendes against Irish Mo. So this is the current position. Still a long way to go. Oh, this is board 4 of the under 16. That's an interesting position. We're definitely spending more time on it when after. So some English a6 suspicious kind of move, but eventually it will support some b4. No, it's fine. I don't mind if you have questions to go back. I just want to make sure I go through everything one time. At least I have an idea what is happening. And I started with the girls section first when I went live. I usually start with the open, but now I started with the girls, and that's why I hadn't seen some of the stuff. Yeah, f4, and yep, pretty nice here. Tony is definitely going for some very aggressive line here against Andre, because you know, they're on 4 points. The leader is running with 5, so you know, any win gets them you know, closer to the top board. All right. And I think we're going to boys under 14 now, where we have both Bobby Kian and Venkatesh Narayan with 5 points, trailed by 4 players with 4.5. So this is a game. This is the game that could decide who's gonna finish higher. And they decided to battle it out in a Steinitz variation of the Ruy Lopez. With g6 here, we see the same kind of pattern with the fianchetto bishop, which helps control the center, put pressure in the center for a bit. Can be helpful for black. Okay, bishop there, back. Okay, white is being aggressive here. No castle for you, mister. And black says, okay, let's trade. And this knight will come into play through f7, or maybe supports f5. Could also go through g4, but very likely will go through f7. Oh, there it is. Oh, white went for b4. Why not development? I mean, I would go for the development. Or, you know what? I know this might sound crazy, but bear with me for a second. What do you guys think about this? And then get the knight to c3. Get the knight to d5. Bring the rooks on the open files, you know? Step-by-step improvement. That's definitely something that could work. Yeah, b5 is kind of creating some weaknesses for black. Maybe rook d8 I was considering. Yeah, now white has gotten some kind of outposts over here, while black's knights, although this knight could come to our c4 also. This knight can come to our c4. And this knight can go towards f4. Still a game to play here. On board 2, we had a Scotch gambit. Okay, knight e4 takes bishop c5, castle takes in c6. I had once a student who took it the bishop, and I was like, I wasn't happy. But then I stayed there and I looked at it, and then I took it back. I was like, okay, it's not that bad. You know, maybe you got the point there to keep the bishop, but typically they get the double pawns. Might as well just keep the bishop pair. You know, that's why usually people take like that. At least you have the bishop pair. Then knight comes back to e4, and this is all theory. Bishop b6 to support c5. I think, oops, I think in this position, yeah, bishop b6, c3, c5. Oh, not c5. I like c5, and if you go back, then bishop c6 or bishop e5 first or bishop c6. Oh, the engine doesn't like it. Okay. I thought that was the plan. Maybe bishop b5? Oh. Maybe I should study this line some more. Maybe it's not c5. That's eventually what black wants to do, to push those pawns forward, but what about c5, knight b3, c4? If you go back, then maybe c5. Something like this, maybe? Oh, or d4? d4? No. Something. Bishop e6, but I just don't like it because f4. Maybe just rook d8. Nope. f4 is a killer. It's still like my line so far. It can be d4, right? d4 just loses a pawn. Maybe just bishop f5? Cute. Cutesy. You can't take, obviously, your knight is hanging, and also your queen can get trapped. So you're just stopping white's plan with a 5. And then I guess eventually this bishop will be opened once you prepare d4. But okay, black did not rush with that. Rook e8 seems fine. Black needs to keep some pressure here so that f5, f6 doesn't happen, in my opinion. All right, next board is Wesley Luo playing on board 3 against Alexander Sukiashvili. What did I have here? Oopsie, sorry. There was some Sicilian, I think, but which one? O'Kelly! Aw, I like the O'Kelly. A4, okay. This is a move, I played the O'Kelly myself. This is a move I've never seen. I don't think I've ever seen anyone play that. Okay. Usually people play c3 or c4. They don't go for d4. They know, it's still not bad for white, but that's the point. Black controls the b5 square, so if you go for the regular Sicilian, basically what happens to you here after knight c6, knight f6, knight here, there's e5, and you don't have knight b5 like in the Sveshnikov, Najdorf, whatever. The knight doesn't go to b5. That's the whole point. But a4, wow, okay. Luo took it straight. It's like, no, I don't want you to play b5. Stop that nonsense. Okay, very nice. And they got just some normal. Okay, everyone likes to play this. Now, what's wrong with this? Can white actually take that pawn? I think there's knight here. I should be able to take it back. Queen takes d5, knight c4. Actually, this is nice. Chase the knight away. Yeah, black's got the upper hand, but what did white miss here after queen takes? Like, what was the good move for white? Does anyone have any ideas? That was a knight c4. I don't see another discovery that would create so much damage. So I was gonna suggest 95, but that doesn't create any kind of damage. Um, Hi there, couple. I don't know what you're asking. Is this C4? No, it's not for maybe rook E1. Maybe simply rook E1. Because after rook E1, you're just putting pressure in the center. Oh, I see. Oh, Capo, you're too funny. You're too funny. Okay. Okay, now I got it. Sure. Rook E1, yeah. Yeah, I didn't get it. I found that move myself. I didn't get what you meant until you said yes. Okay. So if they try to protect, maybe this is gonna happen. Kaboom. You won't survive unharmed for too long. Or maybe knight f3 or knight b3. Knight b3, knight f3. Knight e4. To try this or trap the queen. Lots of moves for white. Okay, so basically white could try to put some pressure on that pawn. If you go this, you just get chased. Yeah. So it looks like white missed the opportunity and played knight c4 and now allowed black to get that bit more space. Makes sense. All right. Going on to the next section for under 12. We have Ted Wang, who's on 5.5, playing against Rafael Palatingal. And there are 3 players with 4.5. Ted's impressed me this whole tournament. Like, I think the game might end in a draw and then he comes up with some way to change things up. So we had Gioco Piano. This is all theory. We've seen it in another game. Okay, castle, saves the knight. Yeah, all of this theory. Until at some point, I know it's a lot of theory here, but I think white tends to get the slight advantage because this pawn gives a nice attack, while for black it's not so easy to do things with c5 because this chain is kind of strong. So with black, of course, if you can trade some pieces, it would be good, but queen e7. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, white's definitely has a good position. Now this pawn is protected and passed. Will have ways to advance further. He has to take his time to improve, but eventually I think Ted's on his way to win this game. Going on to the next board, Sarat playing against Jashit. Both players with 4.5, trailing Ted by a point, but now they play each other and they have to try. The winner of this will will get closer to securing a medal in this championship, of course. This is a theoretical line I mentioned. Someone else played this yesterday. Maybe it was still just, it couldn't have been just sheet because I thought just sheet had white. But someone played this line. I used to play it myself with black. You have to be mindful of the move order that you play, because otherwise you risk of losing some material here. So knight 94. I personally used to play queen c7 here. That was the move I was playing myself. But in the game, bishop b7 was played. Maybe this is a new trend where you move your knight away, and then yeah, if c5, you still attack the e5 pawn, but now you have secured, you know, since he played c5, you secured the retreat of the knight to d5, but you stay with this backwards pawn. But if you put the knight there, maybe it won't matter, but you'll still be stuck with this bishop here. So I guess he's getting some kind of something out of the situation. But I don't know how black feels about that bishop in c8. Okay, so this is the current position. Well, I guess now white kind of has to go here, and then black may consider giving up the bishop, and we'll have this kind of a position where the knight could be almost as good as the bishop, because it's on an outpost and you can never take it. So we like that. We like that position is for black. Next board is board 1 in the under 10 section. Oopsie, I can't get to it for some reason. Let me let you know the standings for that one. So we have Ayansh Guntaka against Stephen Liu. Stephen is on 6 out of 6. And then Ayansh is on 4.5. So this is the only 100% score we had so far. Do you guys think? I mean, I feel like this position looks really great for white. What was this? Because it already looks kind of tough for black. Dragon. H5. I don't know that move here. I thought you play h5 against h4. I don't know about g4. I think black usually takes here and then develops the bishop in e6 and then attempts some attacks on the queen side. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but this looks a bit scary what Steven did here. Bishop c4. White has plans to rook g1, and you know that's hanging. Of course, you know, trading the knight sometimes, and then go bishop h6 to trade and get into an endgame. Trade an attacker and get into even more attacks. 92. Oh no! You don't take that bishop. That knight. You do not need to take that knight. This does not look good. With the H file, I know there's nothing concrete yet. The king can escape if you move the rook and king f8, but this is not very safe. It's not very safe. Like, for example, queen h2. How is black defending? Let's just say you push f6. Let's find a win for white. I was thinking check. Bishop h6. Maybe not bishop h6 yet. Maybe rook h6. And this is gone. Adios, amigos. This is not looking good. It's not looking good at all for poor black. White gave him one more chance after e5. He played knight b3, queen f6. Did not go for that queen h2 idea. Okay, now the rook could have moved. Maybe you can ask me why not rook here. Well, if you go there, then queen h6, and I think now bishop h6, and we're threatening queen h8. So if you take, I think here white's definitely on the way to create some damage, right? Queen g5. If you play f6, rook h7, then everything falls. This is difficult. Yeah, very aggressive. Finally, the queen came, but now there's no mate yet. But look at that, bishop e4, very nicely found by white. White's gonna have a mate soon. White is gonna have a mate soon. At least he's up a piece. Ayash may win this. Then we have board 2 in the under 10. Oscar with the black pieces, Frank with the white pieces. Both players with, no, actually Frank is on 4, Oscar is on 5. Did they play a Najdorf? Yes, they played a Najdorf. All of these are the kind of moves that you see in a chessable course like Geary's course. Okay, seems kind of fine. Equal material, bishop pair for black, but white is slightly better developed. Okay, and the last board is top board in the boys under 8 or open under 8 section, where we have both players with 5 points. They are leading the tournament with 5, and there are 3 players with 4.5 who will attempt to catch up with whoever loses this. And it will be very likely decided. I bet on it. So we had a London system where black got the bishop out, which is nice. And white did not get the bishop in d3 to trade it, but goes to win it that way. Bishop g5. And yeah, I've seen actually this. Someone was analyzing this, was showing me this line, and at first I was like, what? King in the center like that? But because the position is not really open, black's king is perfectly safe. I mean, it won't get mated. And see, it did like you know, walk, and the rook will get out. Uh-oh, why is that a blunder? Maybe this, but no, the knight comes here. Maybe this. Sorry, this. Doesn't like it. Doesn't seem like that bad of a decision for black. White's making very natural moves here. Was there a discovered attack here for white? Maybe this? Because if you sack the queen, I'll be happy. This would look nice. Also, after knight h6, I'm seeing these kind of ideas with the queen just kind of being brought on the 5th rank and try to switch it over the other side of the board. This could be kind of unpleasant. c4. Trying to be fancy, I see. c4. Which moment c4? Here? Not here. In the other position, c4? Ah, c4 to go knight c3 is smart. Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. That could work. Yeah. Probably better. Okay, this is really deep. c4 is really deep. You do want to try to kind of take advantage of that king in the center. So what have they done here? Wait, oh, that's probably it's probably a DGT error at this point, so we don't know exactly what's going on here, if that really was played. Okay, so we can only assume that maybe this is the position, but we don't know for sure. It looks like black is on his way to win this. Because he's up a rook, if that's really the case. Okay, well, that concludes our review of both the open and the girls section. Start with the girls. When I get back, I'll take a short break. When I'll get back, we will be focusing again on catching up with some of the other things that happened, and we'll try to investigate more plans. We're back. Welcome back, everyone, to round 7 of the North American Youth Chess Championships. Let's see what we've missed going on break. So, with ball 1 of the under 18, by the way, I wanted to make some also announcement. So this tournament takes place in Virginia and is organized by Capital Area Chess. And I was told that there's also like online on-site analysis with FIDE Master Makon Shibut. And also there were quite a lot of like there were some side events to the tournament. There were 2 blitz tournaments that took place. And also I wanted to say that there's special prizes that are given, which is usually something you don't see in youth events as much, besides the medals and the trophies that are given in each categories. But they have a special award, like a medal for combined top 5 sibling scores regardless of categories, which is kind of nice because typically you don't see a sibling award. I don't think I've seen it. This is something that I don't know if Anand Domalapati, the international organizer and arbiter, who typically organizes a lot of tournaments for Capital Area Chess and the DC/Virginia area. But yeah, so like this is a cool thing. I need to ask you more about it. But yeah, there's a sibling award, and apparently there are quite a few siblings taking part in this competition. So it's actually nice to see that as an extra bonus for you know, trying to be supportive of families competing in tournaments and trying to do well. It's always nice to see. I'd say I myself had a sibling, still have a sibling. She doesn't play chess anymore, but it's kind of nice to see that that is a bonus thing that you can try to fight for. Typically, in a lot of tournaments in the US now, they started for the past few years to have this mixed doubles, right, where you have a male and female. But here, I don't think I've seen sibling awards, so it's kind of cool. Anyways, thought I'd mention that as I'm getting ready to discuss the current position in the open section between Aaron and Iris. So Iris did manage to get that b5 before in, and Aaron decided to respond with a4. Actually, this is kind of a nice idea. Oftentimes you see people capturing, but when all is traded, you can clearly see the strengths, or like the slightly better position for black, slightly better approach to attacking those weaknesses. And actually, I find this move quite instructive in a way, because by playing a4, white is saying, I don't want to allow you to open up that much. Sure, you can take here and create my backwards pawn, but because you played a5, it's going to be hard for you to get your knight to c4 and or put additional pressure on my weakness. So you might be able to double, but you know, it won't be that easy. So we'll have to wait and see. King e2, yeah. I like that Iris did not rush to take in c3 because by keeping the tension, she always has the opportunity to trade whenever she wants. She can just get ready, put additional pressure, keep white a bit passive. Though this knight is coming to c5, after which there won't be that much pressure that will be going on c3. But something I'm not really liking for Iris is if these times are correct, approximately, she is spending quite a bit of time, and that could be an issue for later in the game, you know? For later, like in a few moves. Aaron's playing quite fast and confident, maintains an equal position, and you know, when you are spending too much time in such positions and you're getting below, then yeah, I don't know. I'm getting this comment on my channel: is Christmas better in Romania than America? I don't know what you mean by that. Like, better, there can be so many things that are better or worse, so you have to be specific as to what things you think are better. If you mean food, definitely food is I'm enjoying Romanian food quite a bit. That's why actually today I will be preparing, since I won't be home for Christmas, which is so sad. But I'm preparing some Romanian traditional dish that we usually have for Christmas. It's called sarmale. It's stuffed pickled cabbage with ground beef and rice and spices and stuff. That's one of those things that we have usually on Christmas Eve, so like on 24th at night. And quite a few other dishes, but is it turkey? No, it's not turkey. It's not turkey. I don't think we eat turkey that much in Romania. I mean, yeah, we do occasionally, but like mostly we're eating pork and beef and chicken. Like those are the most. And especially for Christmas, it's usually pork. Like, yeah, there's a specific day when you know, if you're not vegetarian, of course. Like, I'm not trying to make this sound bad for people who are. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's usually a traditional thing. The sarmale are usually made with pork. But if you're trying to stay a bit more lean, you would add some beef too, because beef is usually tends to be less, having a bit less fat. So yeah. Must be quite the feast, definitely. But unfortunately, I'm not in Romania, so no feast for me at the moment. But I think in the US you eat pretty good stuff also. But you know, you usually like the food where you're raised more, or me, I'm the one, I shouldn't make a general statement. It looks like Ryan's got a pretty good position. Remember, he played at a4 earlier, and he had the ability to take over the file. And looks like he's gonna be, yeah. This is my nightmare, childhood nightmare. Bishop stuck in b7. It's my childhood nightmare because I played a few games, not a few, like just one. There was one game that because I lost that game, I didn't win the gold medal when I was 10. I know, a long time ago, but the memory stayed with me that I should be mindful about my pieces and make sure that there's always a way to free up pieces. Try to avoid getting them trapped, because you're gonna suffer. So I feel this for Aditya, because I'm not sure what he's gonna do with that bishop. If he doesn't manage some c5, and I don't think he will, that bishop will be stuck for a while. I don't know if we should even play knight c5. Yeah, the engine is gonna drop a bit here, but maybe even trade queens. Oh, trade queens, I'm losing a bishop. Sorry. Oh, am I losing a pawn? No. Take with a pawn, my bad. Get rid of the queen, and then this bishop is just Dead. Dead. Okay. What else have we missed from this game? Kind of similar pawn structure in a way, just a bit like Iris's game, board 1, but here, you know, this pawn is in c4, not in d5, which means white's gonna focus on a king side improvement, probably want some rook e5, double up, switch, slide the queen back, and then some f4 pawn push. That's definitely going to be white's plan here. Knight f7. Zoe never played queen e2 or queen d3 or something. I thought there was a move at some point we discussed where the queen could be developed fast and then knight b5. I see she did not do it. Maybe... Maybe she could have done it here. I really want to take in d5. Sorry, I know you guys. I think I'm way too aggressive because they're not my pieces, but I really want to make this work. I don't know if it does. You have to take back, because I'm also attacking your rook, right? And now I want to go for bishop takes f6. I guess it works. Oh, this would have been so cute. Check it out. I mean, queen d3 attacking the rook. A very natural move is to move the rook, right? I mean, yes, you can go knight takes g5 and then I'll take your rook. Actually, I can also take in g5 and then those two are hanging. So queen d3, you are gonna think to do something normal, which is protecting your rook, coming here to take this pawn, and then suddenly, bam, sack, deflection. You have to take with this pawn or the knight, of course. My whole idea is to mate you there. Bishop takes f6, and now regardless with which piece you take is gonna be a mate, so you have to try to go for this move. And I think now we have quite a few moves for white, but I think this is probably the best because I'm maintaining two pieces attacked and this looks good, right? Kind of cute idea. Zoe ended up going for the knight f7, so missed the opportunity to utilize this weakness. And now f5. Yeah, white has still slightly better position, of course. Extra pawn and pressure in the center, but it will take some time to be able to convert this. That queen d3 was kind of a cutesy little idea, you know. Yeah. What have we had here? Looks like, oh, this happened. We looked at this. We looked at these lines. Knight c4, queen c4. Oh, nice. Oopsie daisy, this queen looks trapped. We're threatening bishop e4. Bam! Trap it. Almost. No, definitely trapped. Nowhere to go. So what did black do? Rook d8, rook d1. Rook d1 you have to now. You can't go bishop e4 because the knight's hanging. So rook d1 and that queen is still trapped. What's the best way to actually trap it? Should we go queen a3? No, maybe b5 or something. No. Maybe something like this. Try to sack the queen for some material. Okay. So what's the best way to trap the queen in c2? Bishop e4, queen a4. There should be like an easy way here that I'm missing somehow. Like rook d2, queen a4. Maybe we just go for this line. Now what? This. Okay, we don't win the queen. I saw a way to win a knight. Is that sufficient? Does the chat approve? I think the chat will approve a winning of a piece. Piece win is better than no win. Okay. Well, Nitesh could be winning after rook d2 a piece. I don't see something better if the chat doesn't. I'm going on to the next game. Lots of pieces got traded here, and okay, we like black slightly more space in this position. This knight needs to move, and king f7, depending what you play. Yeah, slightly better for black in that position. This is Ronan's game when I was mentioning how nice I think his position was with having control, you know, there, not allowing the d pawn to go. Black didn't castle yet. I like how he's placed both his rooks on central files. I think he's doing the right thing. He's playing the higher rated player in the section, but he has more points, so there's a plus and minus. Who's in the better form? Rating is just a number sometimes, you know. You shouldn't let yourself influence just by the rating. Sometimes, you know, that number really can affect people emotionally. So if you just focus on what you have there, it could be good. Okay. This was that Italian that looks like a Rui Lopez, right? Because it's this the knight got to b7. It's like a Chigorin version of the Rui Lopez, right? This pawn structure. And white got g4 in and is focusing on a kingside attack. Black should do something with b4. These close positions are like my kind of positions, but there's always something tricky. You always have to be mindful about what's going on. Always. how many weaknesses you can afford to make, how to attack, you know. I'll let these guys proceed with their attacks. And oh no, Steven's not having a good position right now. He's trying to sack in h6 though. But if I take, he wants to sack in g5. Maybe he's going for a draw. What if I don't take and I just go king h7? How is he planning to improve further with white? I think his attack is gone, and black actually has way more on the queen side because, you know, there's queen a5 check to grab a pawn, there's c5, c4. I think he probably messed up like a few moves back. c4, bishop d2. I wonder if he was worried to do that because of this, but he has queen g3, putting pressure, maintaining some pressure actually. I think this is the move that white should play. You don't want to really make this move, but I don't see why not. And if you push, I think I can go knight g4. Or I can take in g7, so he, similar to how he did it, a knight f5 check, you know? I mean, you have to take there, in my opinion. It just seems like it's hard. I mean, for me, it's easier, of course. I also see that this was a mistake, so I'm looking for a better move, right? When you play, you got no hints. And the only reason I have these hints is you guys. I'm gonna blame it. I'm gonna blame it on someone. Apologies in advance. I know everyone loves the bar, so because of the bar, the computer automatically shows you if it was a mistake or not. So it kind of tells you, okay, this is a critical moment, Sabina. Think what should have been played here, what was played there, you know. So anyways, but yeah, I mean, Steven has made a few kind of nice moves, but the problem is now the center got closed. He didn't get anything settled on the queen side. And here, if his opponent just goes king h7, I don't really see how he can follow through with the attack because it's just the position got locked. So he might attempt some short castle and kind of slide over to the queen side, but like I said, this pawn is gonna be lost, and he's going to be the one who has to strive for equality. Here, what do we have? Okay, position seems quite safe. You gotta move the king. Just don't fall for this, okay? Just don't fall for this. But even if you do, it's probably still not over. But don't fall for that. Bishop h4. And now, ladies and gentlemen. No, not that. What? Wait. Do we have rook takes and this and something? No. Maybe just this directly. Yes. Cute. I had to show it, you know. Cute tactical ideas. So don't fall for that. Other than that, you're all good. You're all good with white. I mean, I think king h1 makes the most sense, of course. Just go there. Don't even invite something like knight g4. Why would you even do it? I guess knight g4 can be played anyways, but there's no threat at this point, so whatever. There's a knight there. Who cares? We won't touch it. Maybe knight e4 or queen takes c4. Free pony. Maybe knight e4 even. Knight e4. Try to take the bishop. Yeah. Do you like my idea with the h file opening up, e4 and stuff? Hopefully you did. Hopefully you did, because I liked it. But you know, I always like everything. Everything I do is cute. Not everything I do. The stuff that I find, I believe is cute because I found it. There's a way to motivate yourself, you know, if you If you have happen to be one of those people that, you know, puts yourself down, which is me quite often, you got to find some motivational stuff. And when I get creative is when I get to take out some positivity. That's why I try to do it more often, so that I only show you my positive emotions, not my negative ones, especially on stream. That doesn't mean I'm being fake, just to be clear. I really dislike trying to be fake. I don't think I can do it. I have my moments when I try not to show that how sad I am, but other than that, we're focusing on the good parts of life. Knight e1. Knight e1. Uh-oh. Oopsie daisy. Oopsie daisy. Rook unprotected and black found the queen c4. Yeah. Rook's being attacked. You gotta go rook g1. I think if you go king g1 now, checky, checky, and you lose. So you have to go rook g1, which kind of traps your rook over there. I mean, I think black could have still played. Ah, no, because this. Thankfully, white doesn't lose on the spot. Okay, so black decided to just take the pawn. I mean, that's gonna do it too. How many extra pawns we have? Only one, but then this might be hanging later too. Yeah, black's on the right track here to win. Ooh, what happened here? Nice advancement of the pass pawn with the bishop supporting it. How nice is this? How nice is this? Very nice. Okay. All right, we're liking this position for white. Okay, what was... Did black have any tactical ideas here? None that I can see clearly. This seems fine for white. I don't think there was something super specific. It's just something wrong with this move, probably. White manages to equalize somehow. I don't know. This might allow knight e2. But the queen stays on this knight b6, so I wonder if this is even an option. No, it's probably a trap. Something like this. And if you take, do we have some mating ideas? I feel like we do. Should you just go knight g4? It's something around here, so I don't know. Let's try to figure it out. Knight g4. This pawn will push. We could also trade twice and queen f3 and stuff. I think we trade. Checky. If you go back, knight here, and we win the queen. And if you go here, there should be some mates or something. What's the best approach for black here? The king is out, but how do we get to mate it? No. I have no threat with that move. Maybe I just take and then g5, g4. Yeah, and you'll have to sack something. Quite quite an idea. So, you know, if you go knight b6, you got to be careful about this idea. So black does have does have a way to build up the attack, but white has a defense here. What is it? Queen g5 maybe? No, but then this will be hanging. What about bishop b2? Bishop b2, at least you try to get rid of the knight. I wish I could go queen g5, but then c2 will be hanging at the end. Maybe we just don't care. No, we do care. Any thoughts by the chat? Still doesn't do anything for white. What about rook e1? But rook e1 puts another piece on this check. At least it doesn't blunder anything. Maybe this. Okay, we'll be back and see if white is gonna go greedy for that. It doesn't see anything concrete there, but it seems. Look at that! Ted has won his game. I mean, look, I don't know this kid. I don't know who he is. I'm pretty sure I've seen the name before. I will check for some pictures. Definitely check out the official websites, Capital Area Chess, for the website and pictures and everything. But seriously, I mean, they post pictures on Facebook actually all the time. Let's see. I think someone actually tagged me in something and I didn't even accept it. Silly me. I haven't been nice. It's kind of tough. I have this. So in the past, people used to tag me in stuff, and sometimes it was weird things, and so I decided to not to not to add things anymore. So I have to accept it in order to I have to accept it in order to be tagged and stuff. So it won't just randomly show up on my account. Okay, but I don't know who's taking the pictures though. It's usually Paul Swain, but I don't know if Paul is the one who takes pictures now for the event. He's pretty cool. He's taking really some great pictures. I have some nice pictures by him. So who is taking the pictures? I don't know. They also had a blitz. You should definitely check out all the posts. It doesn't say who takes the pictures. Okay, well. I wish I were there. I had the chance to be there, and when Anand asked me, Sapna, do you want to come here or do you want to do it from home? I was like, can I please do it from home? Because I knew I was going to travel, and I was like, I just want to be home. But now I feel bad because I could have gone and seen some of the kids, and maybe I would put a face to the name, you know? Like, just put the face to the name and know who that person is. Sabina. Wrong decisions all the time. Gotta make better decisions. You're a chess player. You gotta learn to make better strategic decisions, right, guys? Right. Look at this beautiful attack. I told you, those pawns will march. Black didn't manage to do anything because the bishop is here and stuck. Very nice to play by Ted. If someone knows Ted, how he looks like, send me a picture. At least I know how the kid looks like. I'm sure I'm gonna see some pictures in DGT error probably. Yeah, this is the DGT error. And beautiful finish. Well done, Ted. Well done. Looks like he's on his way to win his section. Here we got a pretty interesting endgame. White's closer to do something on the queen side. Black doesn't have much, but we're gonna wait for you to do things. And then his pieces will open too. Quite balanced this position. Extra piece for white. Well, that will know the result, which is actually going to be tough for Steven, because Steven was the only player with 6 out of 6. The only player with 6 out of 6. And he actually survived. Do you guys remember that mate that I found earlier? Like, where was it? Here. Look at my beautiful idea that I came up with. The idea was, well, obviously you can't take because you're threatening mate, so that's basic, in case, you know, some of you are wondering. But basically, like, you're thinking you have 2 ways to escape the mate in h7, right? Because you don't have a knight. So one of them is rook e8, the other one push the f-pawn. So if you push the f-pawn, the problem was queen h7 check, king f7. Now nobody protects this pawn, so you gotta look for the weaknesses in the opponent's position. The rook comes in h6, and now that pawn will be hanging. Once we grab the pawn, everything else will fall for black. If instead of f6 you play rook e8 and say, well, I'm just gonna escape through that way because queen h7, I go king f8, you don't have any more checks, I haven't weakened anything in addition. True, but there's this move bishop h6 and puts additional pressure. If you take queen takes, you gotta go king e7, queen g5 followed by rook entering, and it's gonna be mate. If you attempt the defense, you think, oh, I defend queen f6 and then I'll just trade and escape, I'll be fine. Nope, you're not, because we got queen h8 check, then we get the bishop. I mean, it won't be mate, I guess, anyways, it's a piece. Oh wait, we can actually take with the bishop, it's probably better. We actually win more than a piece, and if you take, we take the queen, and then we take. It's an exchange, but it's a good kind of exchange. The rook is active too, and white's on the way to win. Okay, in the end, white still ended up, looks like with a piece up, but yeah, eventually we'll probably win this unless Steven somehow manages to defend, save the game. But unfortunately, we won't have a full 100% score in any section after that. What have we got here? Nice pawn to be supported. Frank doesn't have much time, so I'll have to see how he does here. This was that DGT error that I didn't understand, but looks like black ended up winning here. Okay, and that resumes our catch up with the open section. Let's go in the girls section. It's been a while since we looked at the girls, since I started with the girls section. We were around here after the opening in this game. Jasmine went for the trade of bishops, I remember, and now Arad is focusing on some pressure. Okay, queens got traded. This endgame should be kind of... Jasmine is on the roll. Listen, it is very important to understand what trades you want to make. Whenever you have the opportunity to trade, 2 pawns are to be traded, whether it's, you know, pawns are right there and they trade each other, or you have to choose whether you're going to capture something and give something back. Please always look which pawn is more valuable, like does more, right? In this case, white does not want to make the trade between the 2 pawns, not at all, because, you know, like it's better to keep this pawn. This one will be passed. This pawn is a long-term weakness for black, so you want to keep it. G3, chase the knight away, and then you can take. Like, knight takes d6, making the trade. You take e5, but, you know, that pawn in g2 was more valuable than those 2 pawns together, you know, to make that trade, right? because now this is a passed pawn, and in any endgame that pawn is going to be a menace to white. Yeah, so now black is definitely on her way to very likely win this game. It was not the right approach to trade, you know, to get those 2 pawns for the one in g2. You need to get your pawn back, of course, but do not give up the g2. But better keep the g2 in g3. Like I said, just play g3, chase the knight away, take that pawn since it's a weakness, and keep your 3 pawns, particularly this one, because it's gonna keep black's extra pawn. Very important. It's of course so easy for me to say because it's in hindsight, I understand, but it's ideas and themes that can be recurring and could happen to your guys' games too, and you want to be mindful about it, because I know how easy it is to feel, especially like depending on the result you want to achieve in a specific game, it's so easy to feel that you want to make this decision or that decision, and you just really don't understand the difference when you play. But the way you can guide yourself is basically just try to see what stays on the board and how important, you know, the things that stay on the board could be for you for later. Laura is doing great. She's supporting the c pawn. If Laura takes down Sophia, I think Sophia was the one trailing Jasmine, so Laura is gonna be trailing Jasmine after this if she wins, which looks like she may, because that c pawn, I don't see a way to stop it. Going on to board 3, looks like Sophie has won. Wow, let's go back and see how did she get that attack going on there. It seemed quite normal. a6, that's a suspicious move. Oh. I feel for Elena. The reason is, like, you know, you see f5, you see queen g5, you're panicking about g6, but she fell for this f6 queen h6. That is there's a tough way to go, I think. Tough way to lose here, because it's a difficult position, but this is a kind of mate you want to avoid, right? Now, if you ask me what was the better decision, probably just take this and just take the pawn. Yes, you're worse, but at least you don't get mated. Knight takes. You're losing an exchange with black. She probably messed up earlier. That a6 was a bit too much. She had to try to get some new piece out in a way or something. Yeah. Okay. Happens. You gotta move on from that. You got 2 more rounds to focus on. Focus on. White seems to be doing great here. Great in the sense, okay, we got the pawn for the exchange and position is kind of close. It's kind of okay, but anything can happen. If black manages to open up a file to activate the rooks, you know, when you're up in exchange, you need to open files to really take advantage of the fact that you're up in exchange. And Ananya is trying to do just that. Jillian is a slightly better position here. She needs to bring in the king. I love this knight in d6. I mean, that knight is so good. Outpost, supporting b5, push, and dominates the bishop. White just needs to bring in the king, and then eventually probably push a4, a4, b5. But it's not in a rush. There's no rush. This bishop is just stuck there. Positional game, definitely that one. And this position is quite equal here. Or not quite equal, I mean material-wise it's equal, but if white gets b5, a4 will fall. It's not equal at all. White will have the advantage, already has the advantage, because I don't see how c4, b5 will be stopped. Black might try some attempts to attack. I don't know if this will work. Maybe this is the only way that black can stop c4. And try to open up the queen to bring in the rook, but that's kind of, yeah, slow. A bit slow. Okay, this looks quite hard to progress for white. Maybe some f4, g4 and try f5. Oh, they agreed on a draw. Okay, never mind. Makes sense. Guess both players probably played quite well from the middle game. Traded rooks. Okay, yeah. All right, so this game ended in a draw. White's up a pawn. But the king is not so safe. Actually, you know, if you're not careful here, look at this. This, if you're not careful, bad things can happen. I want to see if I can find some mate, but I don't really see a mate. But what's the best discovered attack that we can give? This one? Or should we take the knight first? We probably should take the knight. And then we'll give this discovered attack, win a bunch of material. So, okay, I just made a silly move for white, of course. f4 is the only move. Knight d3 can still be played, but then I think we'll take... White is happy to give up the rook for 2 pieces. You take in f4, but then this king will definitely not risk getting mated anymore. The bishop comes back, and white can even focus on a kingside attack. So f4 is the move that white should play. The tough situation for white here is that she's lower on time, much lower. So mistakes could happen there. Lakshana won this game. Okay, let's go back and see what happened. So, okay, DGT error. DGT error. We don't know what happened around there, but it was a DGT. It was a big DGT error. What? Come on. Oh, she probably took in b2. She probably took in b2. Okay, I'll tell you what happened. This is DGT. Don't let yourself tricked by that. Black probably took in b2, white took in f7, black took in c3. Okay, that's how they fixed it. This is how they fixed it. This is the same position as it was in the game, okay? Don't get yourself carried away by that blunder. That blunder didn't actually happen. But okay, here, yeah, 2 extra pawns is hard to deal with. Oh, beautiful, knight g4, checky. Nice finish. Nice finish, knight h3. Very cute finish. This rook is hanging. In case you're wondering why white resigned. But even regardless of where you go, there's some other ways to win, probably even without taking the rook. But yeah, nice win by Lakshana. Moving on to the next board, what have we got here? Oh no. What? I'm confused. I'm so confused right now. This allows for this, right? And white should be, I mean, I don't know for sure, but white is winning this. So black only has one move, which is bishop g6. So it seems that with rook b8, Lily was trying to attract that move e6. But she probably had a better way to like attack the pawn like this. I don't know why she had to go to b8. Maybe she felt that this position will be fine. This is the only move for black, and she played it finally. Okay. Bishop g6. So now if you take, we take, and this pawn won't be protected. This king is in the box of this pawn, right? The box is this one. All of this. Why needs to move the rook, but where? Because this is hanging too, so maybe rook b2. But then, you know, trade will happen. That's white's best move here. Rook d1? Or c1? No, I wanted d1. The problem is this pawn is more dangerous than this one because it's easily supported while that one is blocked. Well, white's bishops are not ready to block that pawn. So if we take here, here, this is good for black. Okay, bishop takes e1. At least we got the bishop away from e7. I guess that's a plus. Bishop takes c6, or maybe e7. I wonder if white should do this. Probably not. This pawn will be hard to stop. There's an in-between move here for white, which I can't tell. Is it king f1? No, but this bishop will go back and then there'll be bishop d3. What is this in-between move that I'm not seeing after bishop takes e1? Maybe bishop a7? But no, no. Bishop d6? Bishop d6. This is not an easy move to find. Just to keep the pawn in e7 protected, basically. And also stopping c5 so you can take that pawn anytime. Bishop d6 is really hard to see here. So if you do this, no, because this is probably how white wants to keep the position. Don't push this pawn to allow the king to come in, and anyways the bishop stops. Okay, this is This is a way to equalize. We'll have to see if white finds bishop d6 in that position. She did not. She played bishop c6. So what's the difference? Now if we play here, now we can still play bishop d6, right? So then after bishop c6, there's a good move for white, for black here. Is it bishop here? Yeah. It's so tricky, you see? Like, now bishop b4 stops the e pawn from advancing, and then you advance yours. And we don't allow bishop d6. I mean, that's very important. This is kind of a cool idea. We'll have to wait and see if white finds it, but it's kind of interesting, really. It's an interesting approach. What happened in this game? Audrey's up on exchange and a pawn. I don't think there's gonna be any mate, but what, they agreed on a draw here? What's wrong with this? She probably wasn't sure. She can't do it, so she decided to take the draw. Okay, I think she could have played a bit more. King h8. Everything is covered, then she wants to take that. She will defend more, but okay, it's difficult when... But she does have more time. I mean, psychologically could have played a bit more, I'd say, here with black. Interesting position here for both players. I thought Amy would have some attack on the queen side, but I guess she did not really. And now we're gonna see some f4 pushes of the pawns. Or maybe could white even play this to keep the knight restricted? This could be even more unpleasant. But you know, it's hard sometimes when you have that center. It's hard for you to decide whether you want to go forward or not. We'll see, I guess. I'm liking white's position for sure. The bishop is better than black's bishop. That pawn in f5 is an unpleasant piece to deal with. White also has now control over the e file. I mean, yeah. Ashley's is in the driver's seat in that one. This was the position where Celine was pressuring. I thought she didn't. I thought here, wasn't I suggesting this move? No, not this move. Wasn't I suggesting? What was I suggesting? Oh, I was suggesting this move. This was my suggestion to make sure that I wouldn't allow black to push the b pawn, if you guys remember. But what did she do? She traded bishop f4, and that's quite typical for black. Push that pawn in the center. Well, at least white has traded black's very strong fianchetto bishop in g7, queen g7. Yeah, not ideal. Oh, I'm surprised. This is the move I would have played myself. So you have the passed pawns, right? And you want to create a passed pawn later in the game, but this is the way to push the pawns usually to get the knight in e4, queen or knight in e4. Switch over to the d file at some point. And also the queen went to g7 by itself, which, you know, fianchetto queen, we haven't heard about that much, right? So this would have been a nice approach for white to try to get more into the game. f5, it's a typical way to attack, but you are giving this outpost. And if you don't get much out of it, Like if f6, because even if you go f5, f6, right, the queen will slide back into the game through f8, and then you left this backwards pawn here, which I don't know if you want to. I don't know if you want to. And she took 2, but now white has remained with this weak pawn in the center. And this queen is kind of trapped. Now that's a threat. That is a threat, so she has to try to trade the rook. Okay, threatening rook d1. Cute idea found by Grace. I actually have lost a game like that. I thought I'm finally able to save it. I was winning the queen in this game, and I totally forgot about this kind of an idea. For me, unfortunately, there was no escape with the king. I kind of had to go for the trade, and then I would have lost the queen. This would be really this would be something the white could attempt to play on, but it's just a bit hard because the queen is quite active. I don't know if white can hold in this position, but looks like Celine went for king f4, but that king could get mated here. Oh, she got mated like that. Oh, this is tough. Yeah, she had to sack the queen at least. That was the last chance she had. It's kind of tough, you know, as you're approaching the end of the tournament. We're always gonna see, in my opinion, could be wrong, let me know your thoughts, but I have the feeling that as tournaments approach the end, we either see a lot of draws or we see more enterprising fighting chess, because everyone is understanding, oh my goodness, there's not much left for me to show something, so I'm gonna try to play a great attacking game or a great positional game or something, and you know, anything can happen. So we have a rook endgame here, which black is up a pawn, but it's not so easy to really improve. Rook c8 has to be played. Keep the rook kind of active in the back, and white should be able to hold this one. Oh wow, Elizabeth is on the on the right path to win the tournament. I gotta say, I was impressed with Elizabeth. I worked with her a little bit for World Cadets Championships, and unfortunately the tournament didn't go the best for her. She finished 4th, I think. Drew last round from a winning position. She could have gotten a 3rd place, but I liked it to see her back focusing and trying to win, and I have the feeling she's gonna win this one. Look at that. So she made her opponent she put her opponent in Zugzwang here, got the pawn, and king and pawn and game winning for her. Yes, I'm actually surprised she went d4. This is more of what you would see, you know, because I don't know, just to make sure the king is there. But of course d4 also works because the king already is restricted and this one cannot magically jump to c4, so I guess it's the same. No stalemate. No stalemate for white. Very nice win by Elizabeth. And that concludes our going back through the girls section, and quite a few things happened in the open. Is it time for a break? Potentially, or not? Maybe. Time for a short break, and we'll be back with more energy. We'll be back with more energy for the final few moves in this 7th round of the North American Youth Championships. And hi, Quick Mind, and everyone else. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining. Appreciate you guys being here. I know it's a Sunday before big holiday, and you know, depending on which one you celebrate, Christmas, Yalda, what else? Hanukkah. I don't know what else is around this period, but hopefully you guys are having a wonderful time and you get the chance to spend it with dear ones, or at least get the chance to have some good foodies, like I like to say, and just get a bit of rest after a really tough year. or maybe a great year, depending. Some of us had maybe a tougher year, others not such a tough year. Oh my goodness, is my internet, did I crash for a second? Hopefully not. I crashed. The internet crashed. Oh no. What is happening, guys? My internet has been acting out for a second, but I think I'm back. Looks like I'm still online, so we good. We are good. All right. You are in DC, Quickma. Okay, so you're close to the tournament. It's played in Dallas. In Dallas, Virginia. So it's really close to you. Looks like this game will end in a draw, very likely. Iris has kept strong there somehow. I don't know how she even ended up with a pawn down because she was the one who was pressing earlier. Ah, she gave up the pawn in order to be able to trade off and get into this endgame, which is equal. So she's trying to hold on now to get the draw. Do you want to play? No, guys, I cannot play right now. I'm sorry. I'm doing commentary for this tournament, so no games are being played at the moment. Maybe in a few days after I will have finished the commentary. This tournament is still... I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is Oh, you're playing in the under 8 section. Cool. Cool. Open or girls? Hopefully your parents know that you are typing, but let us know who you are if you can. Or maybe you can tell me a hint if I actually know you, and then I will know who you are and I won't say. I hope you're doing well in the tournament. Under 8 section. Okay, so Ryan was doing quite well in this game. You guys remember that? This game? So what happened? This is their current position. White is up a pawn, but it's opposite color bishops, but not opposite color bishops are drawn. White is better. Okay, rook takes e6 is gonna be played. Now white has a slight edge because this is a protected pass pawn. But I think rook b3 is gonna happen and no more protected pass pawn because this will be captured and this will be captured, and this game very likely could end in a draw. Okie dokie dokie. Zoe had a better position. You guys remember this beautiful idea that I was so proud that I found myself? It was a bit earlier in this position. I think when knight f7 was played, this was kind of a cool position for everyone to see. And you know, it's these themes. That's why coaches tell you all the time, do your tactics, do your tactics. Even if you see top players not doing tactics anymore, trust me, when they were low rated, they were spending times on doing tactics. Tactical ideas are you know, going to benefit you on the long run. So here white had the pressure in h7, and there was this idea that Zoe could have played that brings the queen looking towards h7. Obviously that's not a mate, but it hits the rook, so the rook needs to go. And now there was this cute tactic, knight takes d5, attacking the bishop, trying to deflect the knight away, and if you capture back, then we were gonna go bishop takes f6. Now we're threatening mate, so you kind of have to take this knight And then there was bishop takes e7, which attacks both the rook and this knight, and white could have been on the way to win now. Okay, I didn't put the best move for black after queen d3. Maybe rook a7 is slightly better, at least the bishop is protected, and maybe something different. But the idea stays the same. That's still something you want to do, deflect the knight so that you can focus on h7. Zoe did not go for this. She took in f7, and looks like right now their current position is kind of headed for a rook endgame where it's gonna end in a draw. Black gives up the pawn. Yeah, 3 versus 2. This game could end in a draw. There's still some ways for white to push further. There's still some blunders that black can make, but typically 3 versus 2, to a good play, should end in a draw. I've seen in this tournament quite a bit of exchange down positions that ended in a draw, so that's pretty good. Steven, what did you do? Oh, I didn't catch your game. Let's see, because you were kind of worse. You were kind of worse last time I checked. A board one is headed for a draw in the under 18, but you're playing under 16, right? Oh, Ronan won! Wow, Ronan's on fire. He beat the highest rated player. How did he win the queen even? There was no queen up. I don't even know when that happened. Like, it was kind of around here we last saw it. Wow. Oh, rook c7, such a natural move to protect d7. And look at this beautiful 96. Wow, Ronan, very impressed. Can I take some credit for him, like, being in the game? You know, I was his coach for quite a while. There were a few others as well, but, you know. G6, you think G6 was suspicious? G6 is... Why is G6 so suspicious? I think more like rook c7 was suspicious. Yeah, G6 I guess is suspicious too. Yeah, I guess. Wow, beautifully played. So now the rook and queen is attacked, and he thought rook c5, but now the queen got trapped. Brilliant. Okay, so he went on to win. Well done, Ronan. Gotta say, very impressed. Very impressed with his play. Took down the highest rated, I think, in that section. Or second highest, I don't know. Where's Steven's game? Board 9. Steven won? You won? Wow. Oh, I feel like from now on, every time you're playing a tournament, you're gonna stop by the stream, because, like, can I take credit for you winning some of your games? Emotional support? Can I take any credit, Steven? How did you even win that game? You were so... Black's position was so fine. There's nothing you could do there. Okay, let's see, guys. I'm not trying to make you feel bad, Steven. I'm just saying, like, from a positional perspective. Why didn't you take in d4 in c4 instead of bishop d2 here? Did you think about it, Steven? If you're still there, maybe you left. Maybe Steven left. Doesn't want my advice. Sad. Emotional support is real. I offered a draw and barely saw anything. When? When did you offer a draw? Yeah, but like, okay, you go queen g3. I had shown that line, actually. I thought you were worried about that, but, like, you know, the problem was in the game that, you know, you see, if you're looking at the pawn structure that happened after this, I know you take in g7 and check, sure, what did the guy play? He took, okay. So that's kind of at least a small relief. But if he just goes king h7, I don't know what you can do on this side of the board. Like, okay, maybe not queen e5, but he's coming on this side, and your knight looks nice, but I don't think you can do much with it. I think your attack is gone, and I'm not sure what you do with your king. It just seems kind of tough. Bishop d2 instead of bishop d2. I thought taking the pawn, and this bar didn't change, so I also don't check with the engine much, just whatever the bar says. Maybe castle's fine too, yeah. So let's see, guys, how did Steven win then? Let's see. Queen f3. Knight d7, rook h3. Okay, black is trading queens. Steven, yeah, of course you don't want to trade, because then the endgame would be really bad for white if you trade. As this pawn is a long-term weakness, black can come on this side of the board and you're totally stuck here. You have to play f3, g4, which, you know, would be restricting all of your pieces. No kind of attack. Okay, nice creative idea. Bring the rook to f5. Okay, I still don't see how you play some f4. Okay, f4. You went for some tactics. It worked out. Okay, cute tactical idea, resource. Alexandra, thank you so much for the raid. Shout out to Alexandra. Oh, thanks, Dirke. Oh, I'm glad you came, because it's so behind. Hi everyone, welcome. Currently doing commentary for the 7th round of the North American Youth Championships. And we're looking at Steven's game. Steven is usually in the chat. He's in the chat right now, looking to see how he got the chance to win from a position that I thought white had no play whatsoever on the king side. Wow, look at this. Pisa, I don't know. Sometimes I feel that people unfollow and refollow just so they get to thank you again, which is okay. I don't mind. I don't mind. Follow Alexandra. Thank you so much, Alexandra, for the raid. I really appreciate it. I hope your stream went well. I wish you all the best for the holidays. I don't know if you're playing in New York or not. Let me know if you are. I don't know who's playing at this point. I didn't check the list. But if you are, I'll see it there. If you are not, I'll see you some other event, hopefully. Bishop g5 is a bit much. No, what do you mean? It's kind of cute. It's really cute. You're opening up black's king. And did you get to mate? Queen h7 mate. Aw. Cute finish. He didn't let you mate on the board, rook. That's fine. This looks like a mate. This looks like a pawn mate. We'll take it. Wow. Well done. Well done, Steven. What can I say? I'm impressed by your focus. All good, Pizza Racer. All good. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, don't follow and I'll follow. That would make me very sad. Unless I really say something silly and then you're like, I'm done with this girl. I never want to see her again. Yeah, my goal for November was to reach 5,000 followers on Twitch. That did not happen. Maybe it could be a Christmas wish. You know, Christmas is coming in 3 days. Maybe I should just do a 24-hour stream on Christmas, since I got nothing to do anyways. I'll be lonely. Maybe I should, yeah, we'll see. See, like, yeah. I don't know what's going on. Not very good. Dirke, not very good with my goals. I must be doing something wrong. I must be doing something wrong. What do we have here? Yeah, beautiful, beautiful finish here. Mate is coming. By Tony Lu. Oh wow. This was winning by Venkatesh for a while, or Narayan for a while. But this is a cute Arabian. Arabian? No, Anastasia. This is Anastasia. I was confused the two. This is Anastasia, mate. It's possible to reach 5,000 by the end of the year. It's only 9 days left. Dirk is gonna have, you know, He's gotta get everyone to come. He's gotta bring everyone to follow. Okay, that's a beautiful mate. What have we got here? Queen c3, resignation, mate, stuff, and promotion. Cute. It's like a few games have finished. Oh, this is a nice mate too. But was black really that winning? Oh, this is that game. This is that game where Queen d5 was played, right? Yeah. I think this is that game. Let's see what happened. Okay, so we were looking here, and I was saying after bishop d2, no, after queen d5, I was saying knight b6 is probably something that white can attempt, but we'll have queen h5 and everything. And then what did I say was a better move for white in this position? Like, what did I say? Not bishop b2. I can promise to stream the whole 2025 non-stop. I can promise you I'll stream more. Okay, guys, for those of you who don't know, I started also creating YouTubes for US chess, and I'll do it for my own. I promise. That's a promise. That's a promise I'm making right now. I have my own. Technically, I don't know if you can say that I have it yet, but I've been doing it, and I'm planning a few more recordings, so you better. Podcast / interviews on US chess. It's called Class in Session, and just trying to support women and girls that work in chess, trying to get better as players or are promoters. So we're gonna find more information about that. There's a link somewhere. I think is it Sabina? No, that's not the command. I don't know what the command is. Command is on US chess. Here's the podcast. I need to make a command with that. But there it is. Maybe Dirk, if you want to create some kind of command for that. I don't know. But yeah, I've been doing that with US chess. I'm dual streaming now. So there'll be more streams or more of those. And I have a new idea which I'll be working on that involves some cultural chess and some cultural stuff, which I can't share much because I'm not sure about it yet. But if that happens, there will be definitely more streams. It's a promise. So what did we say was the move here for white? Rook e1, or was that queen g5? Queen g5? No, maybe was it queen g5? No, because this pawn is hanging. Maybe h4 was an idea. I think knight e3 I also like there are a few ideas that would give white something, but okay. Oh, white just wandered here. Okay, can just take and be fine. Oh wow, so white played knight e3 and black out of nowhere, beautiful, bishop takes e4, so now black is up material. Oh wow, this is cute. This is a cute tactic, definitely, by black. I love this. Don't underestimate your opponent's vision, Zugs. That means in between moves. Don't ever underestimate them. You never know what may happen. This is kind of nice. Oh, tough. Yeah, I probably should change the name, but sure, thanks, Dirk. This is kind of nice. Bishop takes e4, and now, you know, the point is if you take the queen, we got knight f3 check, you gotta move somewhere where, you know, and then this will happen, you take, and then at least an extra piece, if not more, for black. This is hanging too. Okay, and I guess from here black went on to win because he's up a piece and then the attack is still going, and this was the finish. Cute, very cute. This was Ted's game that I was super impressed with the entire tournament. I need to see how he looks like. At least if I ever play against him, I'll know, but I'll remember the name for sure, so, you know, make sure I don't lose too soon. Because kids these days, you never know. You never know what may happen. White's trying to pressure with a4, but Okay. Okay, looks like Ayansh did win this game. Stephen Liu was the only player in all the sections that had 6 out of 6. Unfortunately, he lost this one, but he still has the chance to finish in top or get the even gold medal potentially. And then this game, we didn't really understand what was going on. I see a red here. What's with this red move? Okay, so it seems that here no, no. I know. I just forgot to make the comment. I made that comment for US chess, okay? Dirke, I made the comment for US chess when I was streaming only on US chess. And then for this event, I decided to do a dual stream or multi-stream. So I'm on both channels, right? So I guess I just forgot to edit on mine. Yeah. Maybe I should make the comment Sabrina just for fun, you know? Don't do it. Do not do it, Dirke. I'm warning you. Don't do it. Wait, does White have a way to win here after 98? Is it 94? It's 94. Wow. Because you're trying to restrict the knight. Okay, what does this do necessarily? Like, if the king goes there, you go here. You're sending check knight to trade and win. If it goes there, bam, and you get 2 pawns. Master Chess Dojo, thanks so much for the raid. I do appreciate it. Shout out to Master Chess Dojo. Hope you're doing well. Currently commenting on the North American Youth Championships. Very exciting chess for these kids. Very exciting positions, specifically endgames. Those are the ones that fascinate me the most in attacking chess. But what this move? So there's nothing to do. Like if you go here, at least if I go king f5, the idea is to check. So how does white progress here? Is it h6? No, because king g6. Why is this so decisive? Long stream today, making up for sleep recovery. Oh, okay. Well, I'm doing okay actually. I had finally a good night's sleep. I slept for like 10 hours last night. I went to bed at 8 p.m. No joking. It's been 3 weeks of back-to-back commentaries for me. And I think the pressure has been added. And I decided to take, because today there are 2 rounds in the North American and tomorrow the last round. I will have a few classes to teach as well. And then I gotta pack and live to New York on Tuesday. So yeah. Did I watch the World Championship in real time? No, man. No. No, it was already too much for me when I had to wake up at 4 a.m. to prep the kids for World Cadets Championship. So no, the only time that I woke up is actually the final game. It wasn't even on purpose. I just woke up, and that's when I watched it. But yeah, no, I couldn't do it. It was too early for me. Oh, you went there for 3 games. Wow, that's impressive. That's great. You got used to the time difference and then you were ready for it. I understand. That's kind of nice. How is white winning in this position, guys? What am I missing? .96 is quite unpleasant, and I don't think it's g5. I mean, there's no way it's g5. h6, just king g6. It's a draw. Is it knight b5? So just this knight is trying to dominate that one. Okay, I get it. Now we're restricting that and we want king f5 in this position. Okay. Thanks, Master Chess Dojo. Have a great day yourself. There's knight b5. And what do we do now, guys? What do we do now? Let's try to bring the knight back. And now king f5. Okay, this is deep. This is a deep idea. So knights can dominate each other too, just kind of restrict. And it comes here. We give a checky. You have to come here to keep your knight protected. Now black's threatening this check and of course maybe this. So can white just give up the knight and try to win with the h-pawn? Let's see here. And if you take, yeah, this is just game over. You can't stop it. Oh wow. If you go knight f8 here, I think some zugzwang move. What would be a zugzwang move now for white? Is it just knight back here to take the pawn? And if you go there, we got king g. Oh my god, this is deep. This is definitely deep. I hope my students not watching because it just came up with a great analysis. This is what happens when you teach in between rounds. You always come up with new material. It's not so easy to create material so much, especially when your students get stronger. Oh, that was a really nice. I don't know how much you guys know about knight endgames. I always thought they were very difficult. When I was a kid, my dad would usually say, "Oh, knight endgames are the same as king and pawn. You just get rid of the knights and then get rid of the knights and it's whatever the king and pawn endgame is." Sure, but it's not that easy. It's not quick ma. Tactic. That's right. I don't know who you are. Do I know who you are, Quickma? So now he's trying to do the same thing, but now black is on the right path. Very nicely found by Iris. So this might end in a draw. So that was the moment. Knight d8 was a mistake. His white was quite advanced. So probably this knight has to stay more. Also not there because there may be this. No. There we just trade. Sorry. So where should this knight stand? This is like knight d8. Or not, g5? G5. So what's the move here? What was the correct move for black? It's not knight d8, it's not knight d7, not knight d5. See, if you go here, now you bring the knight. Bring back the knight. Not there. Because you can't go back. Like, what's... Is it here? Yeah, nice endgame, Quickma. Yes, nice endgame. Very nice endgame. Yeah. Once you push that pawn, you gotta be careful to hold on to it. So the current position is back to this. I guess white can attempt this and see if black's gonna make a mistake again, but very likely it's not gonna happen. If he can get back to that previous position, maybe he will have some chance, but I don't think it's gonna happen anymore. Or maybe he can play here, knight f5, and see if somehow, if something like this. No. I mean, that's not gonna happen. He can attempt to get back into that position, but it's kind of hard to imagine to get it again. Aditya won this one. Okay. How did he win it? So I just blunder. Can you guys find the win for black? Black to move and win. It's actually really nice. This king is way too close to the center. I'm actually surprised that white did not go for the trade. Right? Am I missing something? Okay, here it's winning for black, right? Because the bishop... Oh, not that. There's a bishop c2. This is how white can hold on here. So what's the move for black to win here after king e1? Doesn't matter if it's bishop c2 or bishop a2. Marcus, probably similar things, right? Stakes, stakes, and probably b7. With the idea rook b6 or rook c6. And this is probably holdable by white. So what's the move? Don't tell me it's rook h2. This is so gorgeous, guys. I mean, come on. Please, please take a look at this position. I mean, normal moves, right? You got your rook and your bishop attacked, okay? Normal move. Move the bishop. Move the rook to protect the bishop. Normal, right? No. What normal? There's no normal in chess. There's no normal in rook h2. I mean, so gorgeous. I think this is so gorgeous. Rook h2, threatening check rook, right? So you're gonna take the bishop. It would be like, oh, equal material, great. I have my pawn more advanced. I'm gonna promote, and suddenly, kaboom, threatening mate. You're gonna be like, what? Okay, no big deal. Rook b1. I'm gonna push this pawn. The next move, nothing. You know, all safe. Bam, bam. Rook h2. Yeah, sure, you're gonna push that pawn, but the mate is here. Oh my god, this is so gorgeous. I really need to clip this. Oh my god, what minute is it? 3:48. Okay, 3:48. Definitely making a clip of that. Oh my god. That was so gorgeous. I cannot believe it. Oh my god. So I don't know if they calculated all of this stuff, but so I guess it's b7, or no, what is the move here? Is it just king e1, letting them take the rook, and then takes, and then this endgame white probably has chances to draw. But isn't that just super crazy, guys? That was so dreamy. I swear that someone can make a study out of that, because it's so beautiful. Wow. Which hotel is this tournament being played in? I think it's a Marriott or something. It's in Virginia, Dallas. OMG. I swear, that was the nicest thing I've seen today. The nicest thing I've seen today. I'm actually gonna send that position to my friend. He will not be happy that I'm sending it. But I don't care. I don't care. It's way too nice. So the win was actually rook b2, bishop c4, and the queen comes in to mate, and there's not so much you can do. Looks like rook c6 was played after rook f3. It was game over. But how was that line, guys? So queen b3 takes, rook b1, rook takes d2, king e1. Okay, all right. Okay, this is so gorgeous. Okay. All right. One moment. Okay. I need to send this, like... yes, marriage. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. OMG. I swear. So beautiful. So beautiful. Anyways, nicely done. Quickman, did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see the move? Did you see how me explaining it? Quite impressed. Quite impressed. Okay. Moving on to the next. Okay, this was the rook endgame, very likely. Draw. Oh, they drew. Zoe missed a great opportunity there, unfortunately. Oh. Ooh, Donald won. Nicely done. I don't think that was... It was kind of balanced when we left it off, I thought. Okay. Nicely done by Donald. Ronan won a beautiful game. Nicely done as well. Who else have we got here? Draw. Lots of draws. Stephen has impressed me with his win. Very much impressed. I might choose this as the game of the day. Stephen's game, because there's a lot to learn from that. Tony won. Nice mate. And I think everything else is done, right? There's just one game remaining in the open section. And I need to go to the girls and see what were some of the results there, because we haven't checked the girls in a while. Well, this game is also over. And I think there's just board 1 that's still being played. Oh! No! No! What? Irish lost? She had managed to save the game, like... Oh no. I told you this was gonna happen. I feel bad. I feel like I jinxed her. I didn't do it on purpose. Oh no. So the move for black was knight b6, right? We were talking about this. Knight b6 was the move to draw. It seems that Iris ended up playing the move king e6. Can you guys figure out why this is a blunder? Why is this move a blunder? h6. h6, the knight is too far away, so now you go back to grab the pawn. You think, yeah, you think you saved yourself because, you know, but now h7 and you just can't go king g7. It's like so sad that this happened. She probably forgot about, she was just repeating for so long that she forgot her king had to stay there when the knight was here, because yeah, you just can't stop the h pawn. That's That was tough. She defended and played so well that game, like. Okay, let's catch up with the results in this one. Jasmine was on her way to win when we left off, so let's see. Another knight endgame, but this should be much easier win for black than the other one that we just saw. Okay. Small trap here, knight b1, you can't go a2 because of knight c3, but Jasmine saw it and she won after a2. Very nice conversion of the knight endgame by Jasmine. She's on her way to win this title, and I think she's younger than that age group. Laura won. She was winning for quite some time this game. This was a heartbreaking result by Elena, just allowing f6 instead of just straight taking the pawn earlier. And that was a mate. What's been going on? This is they agreed on a draw? Oh, interesting. Okay, that's a pretty okay result for both. So similar ratings, and I thought Ananya had some more chances to press, you know, with the exchange up and everything, to press on the king side, but you know, time was not a helpful factor. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is that game. Yeah, Jillian played a pretty good game, actually. Pushed those pawns advanced only with the help of the rook. Whatever happened here? We haven't seen this game for a while. It looks like it's over, so Aaron was able to convert. Nice advancement. 2 connected pass pawns. And now you're winning an exchange too. Very nicely. This was a draw quite early on. Yeah, looks kind of fine. Opposite color bishops try to hold on to the passed pawn. Oh, oh my goodness, no. Oh, this is so sad. This is so sad. No. Oh, I feel for Lila. She's starting to have, you know, better position. Bishop f3 just brings the king slowly into the game. Oh, this is a heartbreaking move to play this. Oh man. Chess. This was that beautiful win by Lakshana. She played quite nicely. When we left off, remember it was bishop e6 that was the best. Chess is so cruel. Yes, it is. Cruelty. It's very cruel sometimes. Was Lily able to win this game? Doesn't that allow d3? This works too, because the bishop stops the pawn. We can even play bishop there, and then... Okay, got this check. Just don't play bishop f7. Anything but bishop f7, okay. Because you get mated, but we can go king h8 and then bring in the king, and black would be winning there anyways. Okay, so I guess black went on to win this, probably. Yep. This was that draw. The girls decided to repeat. Black could have played on with king h8, but she was probably worried about too many pieces attacking her king. Oh, wow. This is an unexpected result. Ellery won? But it wasn't that bad for Amy. This was not that bad for Amy. She stayed kind of passive though. Ellery was able to push. I told you guys that those pawns might get pushed. This endgame is definitely much better, much simpler to play for white because of the faraway A pawn. I can see she tried to create her counterplay, but the only thing I can think of would be something like this, but those pawns just go by themselves. The only thing you can try to have that, but if those pawns advance sufficiently, then white should be winning. Okay, so yeah. Ashley promoted two queens. Oh, this was the heartbreaking result for Celine in a way. She had the chance a bit earlier, if you guys remember, to sack the queen rather than allow the opponent to march with her king here when this move was played, rook d3 check. This was White's last chance, in my opinion, to try to still play in this position. Because at least you can try to, do something, though. It's going to be difficult, but at least this was the only attempt that I could come up with to hold on. And then the game ended like that. Draw. Okay. Draw is acceptable here. Elizabeth won a beautiful game. So yeah, nice. Very nice. What games do I go for the YouTube guys? I need your help. I need your help for my recording. What games impressed me the most this round? Ideally one that's not the longest. Just trying to escape. This was actually kind of nice, but no, I think I said that there was one that I liked the most in the girl section. Maybe this one. This is kind of a nice game. Actually, Aaron's game is quite nice from a positional standpoint. It's just improving the position. I think we can probably do this one. This was kind of a heartbreaking result with allowing the f6 and mate, which of course is good for Sophie, right? I think we're gonna go with Aaron's game. Because it was like theoretical and then yeah, nicely executed plan for white, while black didn't really follow through with the plan. What about the open section, guys? Should I go for that beautiful? Nah, it wasn't. I don't know. Which which game do you guys think I should go for? All of the games are over, right? Is this game over? Yeah, they agreed on a draw.